So the first is the basic block-in of shapes into flat forms using some odorless mineral spirits. Here you just want simple big shapes as the foundation of your painting. Then secondly comes a more nuanced modeling of shapes, not only in vary color, but also vary your light and dark values. Thirdly, we can now key up and tweak our forms to the desired outcome you wish to achieve in your artwork. My name is Richard, and welcome to this week's demonstration video. In this video, we are going to be going over 3 steps to make your painting much easier. I've prepared 3 photographs that shows each phase of the painting process. We're going to be discussing it, and in the rest of the video, we are going to be elaborating on each phase. So let's begin. Think of modeling as a process of dividing a shape into 4 basic values: a dark light, a light, and a highlight. So in our demonstration, I've picked this lovely scene of the Waterberg out in Rankin's Pass. For a stronger impact, I have cropped the photograph into a simpler, almost abstract design of just a few simple forms like the clouds, with much less space for open sky, and I focused on what I thought was more contrasting in value. It's always a good idea to simplify your subject matter. It makes it easier to focus on the process and not feel overwhelmed. For my color story, I went with the light blue, purple grey for the mountains, the greens in the foliage, and I emphasized a complementary orange to break the monotony and create more interest with my choice of color. After sketching in the basic shapes with a brush, some Van Dyke brown paint, and a few drops of odorless mineral spirits, I proceed with the first step in my painting process, the block-in, and all you want is flat, simple shapes of color and value. The clouds, I start off with a dark value of some violet grey, ultramarine blue, some Van Dyke brown, and a little primary cyan blue with titanium white. Then I block in a lighter value in the direction where the light will hit the clouds using some buff titanium, titanium white, and a little cadmium orange. In this phase, you want to use the solvent to break down that paint into a flat layer, and usually the fat over lean rule would apply. The mountains get a darker purple grey, which is the same colors in the shadow of the clouds, mixed with more cobalt violet and Van Dyke brown. The mountains will be painted in flat colors at first. For those cliff faces and their slopes, I would put in a little bit of raw sienna with some buff titanium. So all the fat over lean rule is using a thinner medium to dilute the paint into a lean mixture to make it easier to lay in the basic shapes. And fat, meaning a thicker medium, to give the paint a thicker viscosity to apply in subsequent layers. So here we see the basic block in, with simplified shapes showing a recedence of atmospheric depth, with cooler colors in the distant mountains, with more of a purpley haze mixed into the raw sienna. As we come closer to the foreground, we apply warmer mixes of color, with less cools mixed into our paint. In the foreground, we can see a clear separation of values between dark and light, like with those bushes, and we see a much brighter green and orange in the foreground. In our second phase, we're now modeling a lighter shadow value, a dark light, which is obtained mixing the highlight of the cloud with the shadow of the cloud and a little of the light blue of the sky for luminosity. Then we can proceed to put darker values in the base of the clouds, and I can darken some parts of the highlighted parts of the clouds slightly, giving the clouds more form. We are adding some light and dark values, and the nuanced variety of tonal values creates the illusion of form on our canvas. Once the flat underlying layer is established, we can now build up the layers on top, giving us dynamic depth. It will also help us with the cohesion from one shape to the next. I'm cutting deeper into those mountain ridges, giving them their characteristic shape using a darker version of the same color I used for the blocking. I added a little more cobalt violet and Van Dyke brown. In the foreground, I continued to put in darker colors with my brush to break the continuous flat warm shapes in the foreground. And so, it is a continued play of light, dark, until the desired result is achieved. Note that color is only secondary in the modeling process, as it is usually the values that creates the impact rather than the color. So here we have come up with a painting that is quite dynamic, and it communicates depth and a great sense of atmosphere. Now that we have finished our modeling phase, a lot of people would argue, a lot of artists would argue, that you pretty much have the painting nailed and it's done. However, in this next phase, as we shall see, that it becomes a matter of taste as to how far we are willing to take our painting to completion. What we need to understand about detail is that detail is just basically modeling taken to a greater degree of refinement. So here I take the painting to its tonal climax, adding in a larger spectrum of values ranging from very light to very dark. In our showing of the painting in its modeling phase, we have a painting bordering on Impressionism. Taking it further requires the same mark making, stippling, dotting, hashing, blending, and scrubbing to get a wider variety of marks on the canvas. Now, I am quite a sucker for detail, but remember that less is more, and driving the detail too far can make our work look contrived. So it is important to remember that we are looking at the scene and breaking it up into simplified abstract shapes, just a few shapes, and working these shapes with very subsequent layers to a greater degree of refinement. It is important not to aim for a detail-centric approach, but to create cohesion between the layers. This is why, if you are a beginner, I would really advise working in a layered approach. It is slower and it's more manageable. Thank you for watching, and be on the lookout for future videos where I'll be sharing more of my tips and techniques with you. Until we meet again, have a fantastic day.